I'm Jesse from the Mount Rainier City Council, and we're here at the first annual Mount Rainier Community Services Day. And our focus is on helping our residents navigate the immigration system, helping them fill out their applications for residency and citizenship, and also informing them about other services available that they may not know about, because there are a lot of resources on the city, county, state, federal levels that could really benefit our residents here in Mount Rainier. For example, we have voter registration. We need to increase voter registration. In this last election, we had very low turnout. It's kind of embarrassing for our county. We have a food pantry. We have resources for the elderly who need housing help, who need legal help. We have legal aid, which provides all kinds of legal services for people with low incomes. We have Tenora Hernandez over there, Hernandez, right? Who is providing information, all kinds of information about county level services. And we have the utilities here. Washington Suburban Sanitary Commission, which has programs for people with low incomes, as does Washington Gas, who left us literature, and we're hoping for more people to come today, later on. And I'm here right now with Deni Taveras, who just won the primary for District 2 County Council for Prince George's County. Congratulations. I know I'm one of the first people to tell you, because we just found out about the recount results just now. So Deni, thank you for coming. We're happy to have you here. And tell me a little bit about your goals and ambitions regarding community service as you begin your term after you win the general election, which I'm sure you will, as a member of the county council.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for your for inviting me here and to spend this great time here with everyone here. In terms of what I'd like to see happen within, once, come January when we get signed in. I mean, at this time, we really want to be able to ensure that constituents feel that these services are really feel that their tax dollars are being put to good use and that they can feel the end result. And so with that, it's just the same thing that we're doing here, just increasing awareness, making sure that we're connecting people with the right county services, the use of county 311 to ensure that if there is a problem in the community, they can take a picture, download an app, take a picture of the incident, and make sure that it's reported to the right county agency to be addressed. For example, potholes, garbage that's not picked up, and those kinds of things. We want to make sure that we have a clean and safe community, and we want to ensure that people feel that county services are working hard on their behalf.
In addition to letting people know about 311, what are some other ways you will increase awareness of the great programs the county has?
Well, right now, I mean, I like to do town halls. I like to do picnics. I like to do, those are the things that I've already been doing, and I'll just continue it now within my new capacity. I've done that on behalf of Legislative District 47 for Jolene Ivey and the delegates that have been there, as well as Senator Victor Ramirez. And so I'll be doing that, but now in my own capacity under the auspices of the county council office. So basically I do rounds at senior centers, at senior homes. I do, in order to ensure that we bring people like Ms. Shirley Whitley from Department of Aging. We're very intimately close with that office. We work very closely in terms of making sure that we're able to get senior jobs and cover them for their necessary safety net needs, whether it's food pantry or food stamps or those kinds of things, or those additional assistance. And bringing in, we've brought in lawyers, we've brought in different transportation, county services, the PTWT, Public Works and Transportation to come in and tell them, speak to about Call a Bus and those county services and what's available to seniors who need to go to dialysis and those kinds of things. And those are things that interest me, but we're also looking more as to what can we do to integrate to make sure that everybody feels like they can access county services. So that's something we really have to think a little bit more outside the box about how we get to do that. Because right now what we have is the Hispanic Festival that does a great job at doing that. But that only happens once a year. So we have to be able to really go to communities, inside communities, and figure out ways that we can access that untapped market that we have outside of the regular Hispanic festival that we have.
When you were on the campaign trail, were there any particular incidents or what were the biggest needs that you saw, and were there any particular incidents or people you met that illustrated those needs?
The two biggest things that I saw just in my personal surveying of the district, and I walked the district over 3 times, entirely from top to bottom, the biggest issues were road paving. So I really want to be able to develop a strategy where we're doing a number from 1 to 5 in terms of quality of the road paving and try to submit that to Public Works and Transportation to see how we can place that on some kind of a priority listing for it to be addressed. Outside of that, mowing of the lawns that are county owned or county covered. And so how do we properly maintain proper landscaping maintenance is a big concern in terms of what the people feel that, we're just barely doing. We really, if they have a backyard and it's owned by the county, they don't feel that it's being serviced appropriately. Those are the kind of things that I found outside of the big item, which is obviously the concerns of the quality of the schools.
Can you say more about that?
Why, Jesse, yes, I can. Well, people were very concerned about the need for quality schooling for their children, and I think that that's something, having spoken with your wife about that, and the need to be sure that we stop the brain drain that's occurring, or the economic drain rather, of, not only, I think it's both actually, from the school system by having parents that are wealthier off sending their kids to private school, and we need to stop that. So we need to be able to include those parents and have them trust the system enough to bring them back in and fight for better quality schooling within this, from outside in, from inside out rather. So that's something that I am very concerned about. I mean, right now, I know we're doing better, given that there's been a revamping of leadership and reorganization of leadership within by Superintendent Kevin Maxwell, and I'm very hopeful about that. But I'm going to be meeting shortly with the county council appointed board member and see get his feedback as to what's going on, where he feels there's still deficiencies, how can we improve. But at the end of the day, we really need to ensure that we have a strong elected board that's prepared for the needs of the kids. I mean, that's something that is imperative. I think that we definitely need to have that. And so between that and just making sure that the day-to-day operations work well and parents feel like they're being respected, parents feel like, and the teachers feel like they're being compensated appropriately, I think it's a two-way street that we need to really work and walk a fine line in terms of how do we negotiate the politics of all that, and at the same time be able to deliver for the children, because at the end of the day, that's what we're here for.
Well, this is a little bit tangential, but since you brought it up, you mentioned having good quality elected school board members. How are we going to do that? How are you going to help make that happen?
Well, that's something that I think the primary, I believe, I'm not really clear on this issue yet in terms of there's still 2 elected board members that are the 2 highest votes go into the General Assembly and you people vote for those.
We'll ask Denora.
Well, that's an excellent. I'll defer to that because she's actually running for school board.
Right.
She was just running for that, so I would defer to that in terms of asking her that question. But I definitely want to be able to support. I was just concerned about an article that had come out in the Washington Post in 2012, around November 2000 or December 2012, and it was talking about a lot of the concerns. As a result of that, I believe that that's the reason that the impetus came to have the county executive take over the school board, or at least present this hybrid board. And so I'm very optimistic about this hybrid board at this time because I think it's something that it's needed at this time, given some of the concerns that they had in terms of the capacity of the board at the time. And so I think that I'm very happy that some of the members were reelected, like Carolyn Boston. She was endorsed by the Washington Post, and so I think that I'm very confident with Mr. Eubank's capabilities as chair. So I'm very comfortable with some of the leadership that's there right now and how we're moving. And Mr. Curtis Valentine, who's the county council appointed person there. So now it's about establishing those relationships and really fermenting that in a solid way so that we can be able to be sure that we're heard within District 2, because we have a new school that's going to be opening in the fall. We will have, we still have, given the population growth that we're going to be experiencing in the county, we're going to be growing to 1 million. We really need to start thinking physically what that looks like. And so how are we going to be able to service those families that are going to come in? And how do we start to think about removing those temporary trailers? So is it that we have to go to the state level and pass a bond bill similar to what Baltimore did, similar to what Montgomery County has been proposing? So maybe it's our turn now to make sure that we get that kind of a bond bill through so that we can start removing some of these temporary trailers that have now become permanent. And so if right now I'm extremely happy with the notice that High Point is going to be reconstructed. And so that's a school that's been in dire need of reconstruction. I mean, the falling ceilings, whole 9 yards. And it's time that they get in, these kids travel to other schools. They see what other schools are like, and then they have to return home and think, oh, wow, why can't we get that as well? And so that now with the new construction, I'm happy that these kids are going to feel that they're valued within the system in the same way that other schools are too, and other communities are.
I thought of another question. We're here in the gym at Thomas Stone Elementary, and we've corresponded a little bit about Thomas Stone's needs. Can you talk a little bit specifically about this school and what you see in its future over your upcoming term?
Well, the big concerns for me here is that we need to work with the county, with the municipality to develop a street. I'm very concerned with the fact that kids are walking in the middle of the road when they're coming to the school. That's something that we need sidewalks, frankly. In terms of the fact we just spoke about temporary trailers, we got some right back here, and it's how do we address it so we don't have to have temporary trailers where we can function well here? So we have to look at what's being done currently prior to because I'm the newcomer and I still have to take time to kind of observe what's going on and seeing what I can do fits into the puzzle and not be too disruptive to the process. I want to be able to help the process move better forward. And so I want to be able to sit down with the principal here and seeing what her needs are and making sure that her needs are met in terms of what needs to happen. How can we, again, retain quality teachers, remove those or defer those teachers that are maybe not. And even at the point right now is what does that look like? How do we properly evaluate? The questions that we're grappling with is how do we properly evaluate a teacher? What does that mean? And from whose point of view? Does that mean that we need to look at a third party, independent third party coming in? Or is there some, there's some grappling issues with regards to what does that look like and ensuring that we have the union on board with whatever the outcomes are. And so those are the things that, I know that I just track for fun. These are the things that I track because those are the things that really drive me and interest me. So I have to, but at the same time, I'm still looking from somebody from outside looking in. So I really have to take some time to learn all the details.
Great, thank you. Let me know how I can help with that and whatever I can do. And thank you again for coming.